What's up guys, JTails here with another video, and I want to talk about the patch that dropped on May 9th. I want to share my thoughts and talk about what changed, what's the same, and where characters are kind of lying on the tier list and what that means for me and for you guys and how to adjust your teams accordingly. Also, I want to talk a little bit about game design and fighting game mentality. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, Cell's command grab actually... A lot of people were speculating that it was going to work like Goku Black's command grab. This is not the case. It still does not grab someone if they're too close to Cell. It'll still miss. The only difference is that it now, sometimes it used to miss from full screen, but now it will not miss from full screen. So he has this. The other thing is that it will work from half screen. And this isn't really a change. I'm pretty sure this is how it worked before. Maybe they adjusted the range or how it locks on, but he didn't really get buffed that much in this instance. It's just his grab. That's the only thing that of Cells that got touched. So granted, him not getting touched at all is a crime and a travesty. Him and Bardock are gonna definitely run the show starting now, because Bardock also didn't get touched and he has a lot of let's just say a lot of advantages that many other characters don't have. Also, to add to that top 3 list, we're going to put Kid Buu up there because Kid Buu barely got touched, and that is not okay because the character definitely needed a rework. And now these 3 are going to run rampant on ranked. Basically, Cell is pretty much untouched. His grab is a little bit better, so if anything, he just received an indirect buff. Let's talk a little bit about everyone's favorite, Vegeta. Oops, actually we don't need to tag him in because the only thing that changed regarding him is his assist. One thing that I can show you guys is that you can actually super dash out of Vegeta assist if you block it. It doesn't matter when or how. When you block Vegeta assist, you can just hit super dash and it will work. And then you can get your punish. The other thing you can do out of Vegeta assist is you can deflect, meaning you can deflect and then cancel into an attack, which is really good. It's very strong. However, this just means that when you call Vegeta, you don't get a win neutral button anymore from full screen, right? He used to get it from full screen. Vegeta locks you down, your point character runs up and starts winning neutral. Now you're stuck in a block string, you can't move, you get mixed up, you take 5,000 damage, right? So he just doesn't have a win the game button anymore. And a lot of people are complaining about that, but this is something I really wanted to talk about because it's important that you guys understand what fighting games are supposed to be about. Fighting games are supposed to be about who's the better player, who's outsmarting their opponent, and who's out-reading and out-strategizing their opponent. Yes, technical aspect comes into play and character choices, stuff like that. There's always going to be a top 3, a top 5. But Vegeta Assist was a win button. Basically, you pressed it, you won the neutral. You did not have to work for the neutral. You did not have to think for the neutral. Now, there's counterplay. But guess what? There's also counterplay for you too. You can call Vegeta, and when you know they're going to super dash through, you can just 2H your opponent and get a free combo. Guess what? If you know that they're going to deflect Vegeta assist, you can run up to them and grab. There's a lot of counterplay here still, guys, from both sides. The only thing is, it's not one-sided anymore. A lot of people were mad that now they have to play neutral, but like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's the point of a fighting game. You're supposed to play neutral. Like, that's the marks of a good player, and I'm actually very excited for this change, even though I run Vegeta on my team. Just to let you guys know, my team is Kid Buu, Vegeta, Adult Gohan. I am not changing my team. I will continue using the same team. I'm just gonna swap Adult Gohan to point and Kid Buu to anchor position. And that's it. The team is fine. I can outplay and still out-neutral and out-defense my opponents. And I strongly suggest that if you're struggling with this patch, that you really focus on the aspects of your gameplay that are more important than finding out what's broken, because it's going to help you in every fighting game that you play. This is the short term. You have to focus on the long term. Anyway, if you're mad about Vegeta Assist, there's many counterplay that you can now use to your advantage. If they super dash through, you can get a 2H. If they deflect, you can dash up and grab them. And if they keep blocking, well, guess what? It's exactly the same now, and you can get your pressure. You have to be a little bit faster though, so keep that in mind. Android 16. Let's talk about this guy. So he used to get a hard knockdown for free. Without, most characters had to use a level 3. He got it off of a quarter circle forward L. Guess what? Adult Gohan also got the same thing. And both of them have it removed. Why? Because it was unfair that these two characters got hard knockdowns for no meter and everyone else had to use level 3. So they don't get free mix-ups anymore, guys. It doesn't mean 16's bad anymore. I mean, sorry, it doesn't mean he's bad. It just means, yes, you have to actually work a lot harder for your damage, for your tech chase options, right? So now, one thing we can do, if you do quarter circle forward L, notice how Cell is able to jump tech, right? So he's not a hard knockdown anymore. But we can still chase him down with, right? Like we still have options here in this scenario. Granted, they're not, you know, it's not a win button anymore, which is good. It allows your opponent for some counterplay. But you're still a grappler character. You have to take your time into neutral and approach, you know, you can't really approach a 5H anymore because it actually is no longer projectile invincible. And I think that was an important change that kind of needed to be implemented. So 16's 5H is no longer projectile invincible. You can use any projectile to beat him out of it. So definitely people are going to want to play keep away against Android 16. And when he gets in, if he doesn't have 3 bars to do the level 3 hard knockdown, his mix-up potential has gotten quite a bit worse. I still think he's quite a good character. I still think he's, I would put him at number 10 or 11 rather than top 3 now. But if you really enjoy the character and you kind of really like him and his game plan, keep playing him. You will not probably see him in abundance at tournaments anymore, once again, because he is not a win button. He has to play neutral and he has to outsmart his opponent to approach. If you don't like this, that's just kind of like the decade we're living in now, man. I come from the time when Marvel 2, people found infinites. Alright, that's it, we're playing with infinites now, and if you don't use the infinite, you're just gonna get hit by the infinite, and you gotta put your controller down when it happens. So either you use the infinite or you just lose to the infinite. At least now we have balance changes that can shift the meta, can allow for different character choices to come into play, which I think is healthy for competition. And guys, this is coming from someone who was winning every tournament for Smash Wii U, and then my character got nerfed to the ground twice. And I, you know, obviously there were other factors going on there. I was in grad school, I was working full time, but the nerfs definitely hit me really hard. And while it was frustrating, it is important to still learn how to play around it and to figure out how to win. That's just the generation that we're in now, because everyone loves to complain, and that's a big reason for patches. So yeah, I still think 16's playable, but he's not top 3. He's not going to be dominating the meta. I still think Vegeta's playable, and there's counterplay, and you have to be smart with your decision making if you use him as an assist. Do I think he's top 5? No. Do I think he's playable? Yes, definitely. Let's talk about Kid Buu. I think Kid Buu is definitely top 3 in the game. Something interesting happened with the universal hit stun and recovery like implementation. So that right there, what you just saw, used to be a true block string. It is no longer a true block string. And it has nothing to do with what they did to Kid Buu, it has to do with what they did to the game. They actually decreased the amount of block stun characters experience. So it's no longer a true block string. So let's take this string from Kid Buu, for example. Right, so if your opponent actually tries to 2H, notice how I get hit if I'm mashing 2H. So So it actually creates a frame trap now when it used to not do that. It was just a true block string. You would be stuck in block, which is pretty cool. Why? Because now if you actually get this frame trap, you can follow up and you can continue your pressure if your opponent does an up tech. And I'll demonstrate that here. Notice how I get to stay on top of Kid Buu after that point, right? And if I'm any other character, I actually do continue my pressure even further. Right, so he's still locked down and it does create a frame trap situation. It's just no longer a true block string. So I believe characters like Adult Gohan and Vegeta will be able to DP in that opening. Let's find out. Actually, that might just be a frame trap. Oh no, okay, yeah. So characters can now DP in that small opening, or maybe even level 3 potentially. Definitely deflect, right? So that's a universal mechanic that indirectly, it could be a buff to Kid Buu, but I haven't decided yet. So we have to figure that out as, you know, the days go on. So next I do want to talk about Adult Gohan and how he has been affected and what this means for him in terms of competitive gameplay. Goichi has already dropped Adult Gohan, but he dropped Adult Gohan before the patch. Maybe it was instinct, he knew something was coming. Maybe he just thought Bardock was a better choice and decided to start making Bardock. Arguably Bardock and Cell are the best characters in the game right now. So let's talk about what got changed from Adult Gohan. Well, first of all, his core circle back L or M don't cause a hard knockdown anymore. Opponents can actually up tech. Oops. Right, so you don't get any follow-ups off of this anymore. You would just do it for the damage and that's it, maybe for positional advantage. So that's a lot worse because now Gohan cannot get a hard knockdown anywhere on the screen for free. He now has to use a level 3, which is fair, that's universal. Every character has to use a level 3 for it. So now that's balanced. Notice how I'm mashing light and I can't actually get any inputs out. Lightning legs will not work if you try to push another button after them. So if you try to follow with a medium or follow with a light, it will not work. Unlike how it used to be, even in the corner, right? Now let me show you guys something else. Right, so you can air dash after the lightning legs, but you can get 2H'd. So there's a definite gap in between EX lightning legs now that there wasn't there before. I'm pretty sure I might be able to even just crouching light. Oh wow, that was a crazy mix-up. But with other characters like who have good standing lights, they can actually just standing light Gohan and in between the air dash and his light. So you can DP, you can 2H, you can get a light out, assuming your height is good. Short characters get the punish for free. You can just 2H Adult Gohan if he goes for this. He needs to cover it with an assist, which means that he's wasting resources, assist cooldown, on this block string. So this might not be the optimal block string anymore to go for with Adult Gohan. We'll have to see how the meta pans out. I still think Adult Gohan is either top 5, sitting at number 5, or like number 6, number 7, around there. I think Android 21 is still very good, even though she lost her infinite. I would put these characters at about the same spot, roughly, right? Lightning leg loops actually do still work in the corner. So the hit stun patch did not actually change this. Right, lightning legs still work. So that's good. So you can still do lightning leg combos and you can still get that massive damage from mid-screen with an assist, i.e. Vegeta assist or a beam, or lightning leg loops in the corner or into sparking. He still gets his damage output, he's just not as insane with the advantage situation that he used to be. So yeah, I still think he's very good. I'm not dropping my team. If you main any of these characters, arguably Android 16, maybe you want to put him down, but it depends on how committed you are to him. you know. But a lot of people have just been freaking out over the patch. They're like, what am I gonna do? And it's like, well, now you have to think. Now you have to like really outplay your opponent rather than do the win button, do the combo that gives you, you know, a free character, a heart knockdown with command grab for a vanish, and then you mix them up once and you win the game, right? Like, so if you're upset about the patches, don't be. I think it's an opportunity for growth and an opportunity to start adapting. Once again, 2 of my characters got hit very, very hard. I'm still going to keep using them. I'm probably still going to do just as well. We'll have to see in the coming weeks. I'll let you guys know. And, you know, worst case scenario, I will just move on and pick up another character if I feel that strongly about it, right? But I'm not going to get mad and complain. That's kind of like the direction of all competitive games now. That's just where we're headed. We're just in a place where if you're a competitor, you have to learn multiple characters and multiple teams in the event that, you know, your mains or your favorites get the boot, so that you can thrive and continue to do well. That's just kind of part of an adaptive meta right now, where people complain and developers hear those complaints and then change what they do. So anyway, guys, I've been ranting long enough. Hopefully you enjoyed the patch notes and my thoughts. If you agree, if you disagree, leave a comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. I don't care. I do have a lot of experience, and experience doesn't mean everything, so whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you did like this video, whether you agree or disagree, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy the channel, hit a subscribe, help me out, help me get noticed on YouTube, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time.